It's time to hear from the general manager of the Utah Mammoth, Bill Armstrong, on your exclusive home of the Utah Mammoth, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Big third period last night for the Mammoth. Bill Armstrong, kind enough to join us. How are you, sir?
Hello, Bill.
I'm doing great, gentlemen. How are we doing today?
It's always nice to chat after a big game like that. What fueled that comeback?
It was me yelling.
Yes.
From the GM box.
They could hear you.
Yeah.
They could hear you. That's good.
No. It took us a while. When you get off the road and you play at home, there's a little bit of time it takes to kind of get comfortable out there. We hadn't been home in a while. So once we did, we kind of tuned it in the third period, and guys played great. J.J. Peterka came out firing, and everybody. I mean, it was a real team effort from top to bottom, and Veggie was solid in the net. So it was a great night for us.
Hey, I wanted to check real quick before we get into the details of this game. Did you get your box yet, Bill?
I want to thank you guys so much. A whole truckload of meat showed up in my house, and my wife was like, because I was like, she's like, what is this box here for? And I'm like, just open it, just open. You guys have sent me enough food that we're going to be good for a whole year. I want to have you over the house so we can have a big barbecue. We're gonna cook one of everything.
I love it.
I love it. Let's go.
That Bar W beef, man. It's you're going to notice the difference. Oh. Those cattle are born here in Utah. They're processed in a plant. It's a state-of-the-art plant in Nephi, Utah. And it's Scotty and I's favorite.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, Bill, we've eaten a lot of beef in our life.
We consume a lot of beef, yes.
We were both born and raised in Idaho, so we know the beef.
I can't wait, gentlemen. It's going to be a huge dinner at the Armstrong house. We're going to be excited to have you, and we're going to try a little bit of everything. We're going to get our cooks from the team to come in and cook it. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, wow. This is going to be a party.
Yeah.
All right, we got a lot to get to here. I want to start with J.J. Peterka, Bill, because I just think that this one meant something to him. He goes 2-0 against his former team, one on the road, one at home, scores 2 points last night. Just talk about his performance as he moved into the second.
Well, he's a guy that he can make a difference for us. When he's scoring, we're winning. It's that simple. And he's a guy that's elite with his skating and his skills, and when he has the puck, he's pretty dominant. So I like what he did last night. Coach mixed it up. He put him with Krause and Boehner coming out for the third, and JJ responded, and I thought that line was one of our best lines in the third. But he's a goal scorer. He's a skilled guy. He's a difference maker. He tilts the ice when he's on, and he showed up in the third for a huge game for us. He kind of makes our team go when he's putting the puck in the net. But he's been a great addition for us.
You're down 2-1 going into the fourth period. I'm still stuck in football mode, but you're going into the third. And what was really fascinating is that there's no panic. There's no this team was never felt like they were on tilt. It was like, okay, let's just take care of business. Is that just the growth and maturity of this team?
It is. And I felt the same way from watching up top. I had a really good feeling about the third period. The team is kind of settled in. They know who they are. And I think everybody was playing the right way. I mean, that's one of the things about our road trip. I thought, we were a little bit in and out. We were playing a lot of good offense, but not a lot of good defense. And we paid the price on the road for it. I thought everybody played really, really disciplined in the right way. And you could feel it. Had a good feeling going into the third.
Yeah, I was doing the math on this too, just looking at the games so far. 5-1 at home. You've got 6 home games as opposed to 11 road games. Just feels like it's a heavy road load to start this season. How much did the home crowd help you in that comeback in the third?
Well, let me tell you something. Our crowds are incredible. You can feel that energy, and we've played a lot of games on the road, 11 games on the road, and I think we've had the third toughest schedule in the National Hockey League. So I think it wore on us at the end of the trip. Coming home, you get kind of revived and refreshed, and you hear your crowd go crazy, and they wanted to see a goal badly, and you could feel it in the building, and we delivered. But the crowd is a huge thing for us to play in Utah, and you're in your house, and you practice out of your practice rig. It's just we've been on the road. We were beaten up a little bit from the early road trips.
You know, you've been great at home, and I know there's been that adjustment period. You mentioned last year the team wanted so badly to play well that in front of that home crowd that sometimes it may have held them back a little bit. But now they've settled in here in Utah. But the practice facility and the routine in having everything established, how much do you think that's helped in your team playing so well in Salt Lake City?
Well, it really has, to be honest with you. We have elite facilities, just from our video systems to being on ice with the 2 rinks and all our skills training that we have here at our practice facility out here in Sandy. So it helps. I think when you're on the road a lot, you're not practicing, and you kind of get away from your skills a little bit. So getting home, getting to our elite facility allows us to kind of get refreshed and kind of up our skill and get back to business. So it's been nice to be home.
You know, Bill, one of the most dominant things in the game of football is the victory formation and the kneel down. It's rewarding. It's incredible. And as I watch NHL, I feel like the reward is an empty net and an empty net opportunity. And I haven't talked to you about the empty netters, but
yeah.
What's the mindset with the guys on the ice when that net goes empty? Are they all fighting for the glory and the opportunity to fire when what is the responsibility and what is the mindset in an empty net situation?
It is a fabulous question. It has changed over the years because somebody that did math in your high school class that was really smart at it figured out it's better to shoot for the empty net than trying to get to center ice and shoot from there. It's not icing. Just shoot from anywhere. The odds are better that your team wins. That is not totally true. So it's kind of skewed a little bit. You see guys just grabbing the puck and they're winging it at the net, and the length of the ice, it's an icing. Before, in my time, you had to make center, and then you had an opportunity to shoot it. But really the object is to get it to center and then take a shot at the net. And I think, as time goes by, there's some guys that can shoot at the length of the ice and put it in almost every time, but there's some guys that can't. So there's a little bit of coach's feel who he's got to put on the ice and how to get the puck and make sure no matter what, it gets out of our zone. That's the most important thing, is that it gets out of our zone. And it's a tricky thing, 6-on-5. Sometimes the other team just wings pucks to the net and they go in. So, but our team was good at it last night, and St. Louis lost a whole series over it last year where they shot for the empty net and they iced it when they had time to make a play to someone in front of them, and they could have put it in the empty net and it wouldn't have cost them a series. So a little tricky with the analytics. I'm not a firm believer totally on shooting for everywhere for the empty net.
I love how much goes into it, though.
Yeah. But the nerds like to get themselves into everything, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they do.
Hey, tell us a little bit about Nick DeSimone and what he's meant to your squad, especially last night.
Well, and Nick's our 7th D, and he embraces the role, never complains about it. And he's got a quiet confidence about himself. When he gets in our lineup, he can have a huge impact. He's got a bullet of a shot. He pumped one in from the point last night, and then he also hit the post, jumping up into the rush. But he gives us something that we don't have with most of our Ds. He's got some offensive instinct back there, and he's got a cannon of a shot. So he's come in and given us a little bit of juice and a little bit of excitement on the backside. So he's a big part of our team. He might be our extra D some nights, but he does have impact for our team.
You get another game at home. That's nice. You get to stay at home and take on a good New York team. Just talk about this next game coming up tomorrow.
Well, New York, they're coming in here. They're playing well. They're a solid, hard team. Patrick Waugh does a great job coaching them. They've got some exciting first overall pick, Matthew Schaefer, on that team, and they play hard every single minute of the game. So it's going to be a battle for us. It's going to be another close game. I feel like for us, we've got some rest. We've been home. We're moving in the right way now. So I have a good feeling about the game, and I like how we stack up against them. But they're a hard-fought team. It's going to be a battle.
You guys get to take a breath tonight, and New York's on the road against the Golden Knights, a really tough game. How much difference does that make? How much do you, Bill, as a GM, how much does Coach Bear, how much do the guys look at it and say, okay, they're coming on a back-to-back? How much does it affect a team, and how much do you weigh that as they come into Delta Center?
We try not to think about it because you don't want to put too much stock into it, because there are teams that play really well back-to-back, some of the older teams are pretty smart about it. And if they can get through the first two periods and keep it close, they can get a little bit of energy from that. So for us, if we can come out and have a great first period, a little bit of the altitude change a little bit, them getting in here late at night and jump all over them, that could help us. But you don't want to put too much stock into that. They've got a lot of veterans on that team. They know how to play when they're tired.
You're 17 games into the season. Do you feel like you got a good feel as to who your team is?
Yeah, I do. I still think when coach, moves lines around at times, you kind of learn a little bit more about your team. So I don't think it's ever set in stone. There's always things that you can't anticipate that come with different chemistry when people are put together. But you can see who we are. We're a fast team. We're a team that's got to play north all the time, go north as fast as we can and attack the other team's goal. It's not we can't complicate things. And I think that's one thing we've learned in the early part of the season is don't be too fancy. When we get too fancy, it goes the other way and ends up in our net. So the simpler we can play, the faster we can play, the more effective we are.
Well, first things first, Bill, that tomahawk steak, man, just get that thing out.
Oh, yes.
Hit the broiler up. You can get it up to 500 degrees. Really char the outside. Right. Get a nice medium rare. Pull it at about 115, 118 internal, and you're going to love that thing.
Yeah. And just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. That's all you need.
Yep.
Nothing crazy.
Oh, boys, thank you very much. It's unbelievable. We're going to have you guys for dinner, and before Christmas, we're going to have you over, but it's going to be big. I can't wait to eat some beef with you.
Nice.
Can't wait to do it. Thanks, Bill.
There he is. Bill Armstrong on his way to practice, too, as the Utah Mammoth get the win, trailing 2-1 going into the third frame, and they put up a 4 spot and some empty netters, too.